Thousands of Vermonters already looking for a new place to live before the state's hotel-motel program ends in July.
The funding for the program is going away, but the thousands of people who use it still need a place to stay.
With this program ending, cities and towns across Vermont trying to keep up with the need to house the homeless.
The city of Burlington has been working on building 30 pods for people experiencing homelessness on Elmwood Avenue. That's in the city's Old North End.
Brian, that's right. Well, the mayor says that there simply is not enough housing for the city and for the number of people who really need it. It's particularly become a problem for one apartment on Church Street. And the mayor says that the temporary shelter that will be here at the VFW come December is just a small solution to the bigger housing crisis the city is now facing.
Homeless housing back under the microscope in Burlington. Good evening, everybody. I'm Darren Perrin.
And I'm Kat Villanzoni. The Queen City has been dealing with an increase in homelessness since the beginning of the pandemic. In fact, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development says homelessness has increased 3% in the country since 2019. The total number stands at more than 582,000 people. It's been just over a month since a homeless shelter coordinator in Brattleboro was brutally murdered. The alleged attacker, a guest staying at the shelter. Adam Sullivan spoke with the organization's executive director about whether any good can come from this tragedy.
People who live here at Sears Lane thought they needed to be out by 9 o'clock this morning, but now anyone who is actively seeking alternative housing is allowed to stay here until Thursday. The mayor's office tells us everyone who lives here has agreed to accept services and work with the Champlain Valley Office of Economic Opportunity to figure out their next steps.
A permanent solution to Burlington's homelessness and housing crisis is becoming more pressing as we head into the colder months. Tonight, many residents living near one of the city's largest homeless encampments are voicing concerns and wondering what the city is doing to address them.
We are going to see an exit of about 80 people, and then they expect another 128 people to be leaving those as motel guests at the end of June.
Brian Alice, last week, the Developmental Review Board approved a permit for the $1.5 million project that City Council passed last March. So the ball is rolling on that. But people who live on that street and who live in the street have some concerns over the hotel-motel program ending because it leaves some people with no place to go.
But Burlington has taken steps to bring down the numbers here by finding housing for homeless people, and that includes the pods that we've told you about in the Old North End. The 30 pods are currently housing about 33 people, and we learned last week more than 40 are on a wait list.
The state has received funding for permanent housing. It just takes a long time to get that online.
Until then, he says the houseless population needs to be taken care of.
So really what we're asking is that we put as many people up in hotels for as long as it takes to build these kind of regional community centers where people can stay in their own room and place.
We've got about 600 households in the Burlington, Middlebury area who are going to be about half of those will be exited May 31st.
In total, the Vermont Agency of Human Services says nearly 3,000 Vermonters will be displaced by July 1st. Advocates say even a short extension would have made all the difference.